Hey, how's it going, guys? Welcome back to another amazing, beautiful episode of the Highly Taken Podcast. This is episode 11. This is, again, David Siekbert back out here from Tallahassee, Florida.
Covered over the screen right now, I am Christian Smith. Back at you. Elkton, Maryland. Here I am, boys.
Man.
Here, let me give you all a full tour real quick. This is beautiful.
Is that a rock band?
Yo, let me see that tat you got going on,
Dude. This is beautiful.
Dude,
This is my goose. This is Nick's initials.
Oh man.
Well, hey, make sure you cross your legs. I just got a total upshot there.
But by the way, guys, I'm Nick from Jacksonville.
Weapons.
Let's get it.
Yeah, today we have a very special guest. He one time hit 8 out of 10 three-pointers in a high school basketball game. He hit a half-court shot that put his team up 21 as time expired in the game. He is Jacksonville's up-and-coming flag football champion. His name is Dylan Siekbert, but I know him as my roommate for many, many years.
What's up, guys?
Hey.
Coming at you in Duval.
Duval.
All right, so as you may see, yes, Christian, looking like the ugly stepsister from Shrek, is wearing a dress. That's because he decided that he was going to do 15 strikeouts and by one person in the game this past week. Did not happen. So he has to wear a dress. And you know what? You're honestly rocking. You know, if it wasn't for the chest hair and the beard, I think you look fine.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Agree.
I really appreciate that, guys. I tried my hardest to look as beautiful as I possibly could.
Prince Charming. It's going to be more like
Is that your
Princess
mom's
Charming.
Dress? Is that your mom's dress?
Yo, y'all better be careful before I come through.
What? Before you do what?
Yeah, why does he kind of look like young Gravy?
That's what I said.
That's what- yeah,
I've been told
you brought that
I've
up
been told
last
that so
week.
many times.
So true.
I've heard that and like so many other things.
Oh,
Goldilocks, sunshine.
So that's going to bring us into our first matter of order today, the Dubs and Chugs results. As you know, we pick...
Before we do that, we got to do the guest every
Guest
time.
job.
Every time we have it. So if you guys have your two phones out ready to go, David, you record.
I already got
Dylan.
2 phones. One for the
Perfect.
plug, one for these hoes.
Give me 1 second. I gotta grab my cellular device. It's right on the couch.
I'm just kidding, Brooklyn. That was a joke.
Got my
Okay, we're back.
So I got Dylan.
Got my Cola Zero.
Dylan's drinking Coca-Cola Zero, non-sponsored, but we love for you to do it if you want to.
Yeah.
You're gonna
Yeah.
chug a Coke.
Dude, that's going to be a rough one.
It was either this or LaCroix, man. I made the choice.
Yeah, LaCroix's garbage.
You made
Yeah, I
the
guess that's
right
a
choice.
fair choice.
All right.
Yeah.
Are you guys ready?
Set. Go.
Go.
Wow.
All right, Dylan. So I got just under 6 seconds at like.
Wait a minute.
5.
Wait a minute. You were timing Dylan?
Nick said I timed Dylan.
I thought, bro.
I literally said, David, you time Dylan, Christian, you time me.
That's crazy because I timed Dylan.
What'd you get for Dylan?
6.46.
I got like 5.59. So we'll see in post. Nick, you may have done a good job. May not have done a good job. But
Dude, Nick, you definitely finished a solid 2 seconds before Dylan did. So
redo. We got Dylan. You want to
No,
chug another
good.
Coke?
I'm good. I'm good. Absolutely. No, I'm good. All right, guys. And like David said, our Dubs and Chugs results.
Whoop, whoop.
I want to put this out here, right now. David came in with a
There it is.
whopping 8 correct.
Yeah,
He was-
yeah. Don't get me started. Don't get me started on getting 8 correct because the only game I missed was the Brewers game, and I said it would lose.
It would be the
because of
reason.
me.
Yep.
Yeah.
And I will say, I mean, you were one away from being able to tell me and Christian what we had to do as a punishment.
Because the Brewers hate me.
One. So close. I came in last again.
let's go.
But here's the issue. I had 5 correct. 5's the most that someone has won in this entire time. So I don't know. I mean,
How many did I have?
Actually, no. I think I had
7.
6. I think I had
Let's
6 a couple weeks ago.
freaking go, baby.
yeah. So I mean, like, of course, leave it to the week.
Shout out
that,
the A's. I picked the A's.
both of you go off, and I finally have a decent time, and I still lose.
Good news is you went 3 up from 2.
That's true.
What I'm gonna do is I'm gonna start my hero arc, and every hero needs a villain, and that villain is the Milwaukee Brewers. I am calling the Milwaukee Brewers out. I have now a personal vendetta against you. I've had one ever since Bud Selig moved you guys from the AL to the NL. So I don't like the Brewers anymore. I feel like I'm just going to be walking down an alley, and then you're going to see Bernie the Brewer funnel down in his little slide and shank me.
No, you gotta worry about the bratwursts too.
Yeah.
They're gonna come out. They're all gonna jump you together.
I don't want to see where they're going to put those bratwursts.
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. It's kind of depressing.
What do we think? Am I showing a little too much cleavage here on camera?
No. Your body, your choice.
Okay, cool. Just making sure.
If anything, it's not enough.
Ooh.
But okay, so I guess while Nick is chugging, Christian, let us start off with your Big Ten predictions.
Yes.
We're going to start in the West first, by the way.
Oh, thank gosh. I was just about to say, if it was my choice, we were going to start in the West, because I think the West is considerably weaker than the East at the end of the day. So
That's beautiful.
Coming in here at number 5 in the West,
Me.
I have Illinois. I think.
What? You have who?
Illinois.
There we go.
He definitely said Illinois
first. Yeah, I definitely did say the S at first. My fault. My apologies.
What about a sick noise?
Illinois. My problem is that they lost way too many players, especially in the secondary. I mean, Devin Witherspoon is the biggest loss there, and that's going to be a humongous game changer on the defensive side of the ball. And I mean, on the offensive side of the ball, they lost some players as well. I don't know how this team will fare with all the changes that are to come, but at the end of the day, I just think they're going to be better than Purdue and Northwestern. So
yeah,
I have them sitting at 5. Sitting at 4, I have Minnesota. I don't know a whole bunch about this. Team, but I do know that they were able to get some players on both sides of the ball through the transfer portal, and some players that I think are going to be able to be big players to watch this year. The biggest name coming from there is going to be Elijah Spencer, wideout. I think he's going to fare massively for Minnesota and definitely help carry this offense. And Jack Henderson will be the ball hawk on the defense for the Golden Gophers. I think they'll have a mediocre season, maybe a bowl game appearance, nothing too crazy, but I have them sitting at the 4 spot.
You know, I was waiting for him to make a remark of some sort of player. He's done it the last couple times. You know, Michael Vick last time, and I think there was another player the week.
Can you name me a Minnesota player?
Oh, RG3. I think that was the other one.
He went to Baylor.
No. I know. I'm saying he I'm not stupid.
I usually use the Gopher.
A Minnesota player, Kirk Cousins.
Kirk Cousins, exactly. Yes.
The Gopher, yeah.
Kirk Cousins with the Michigan State.
No, he plays for Minnesota.
Oh, Minnesota. We're talking about college. Keep going.
You know who doesn't play for Minnesota is Dalvin Cook.
that is very true.
That is true. Sitting in at number 3 over here in the West, I'm going to go with Nebraska. Former Panthers legend Matt Rule is over there coaching the team. And let me tell you guys something though here. Coming in as his first year, he is lucky enough to regain 8 out of 11 starters on the defensive side, and most of them are coming from the front 7, and that is going to be huge for them. As we all know, front 7 play can be very, very, very important to a football team. Go and look at the Eagles, like we know. But then on top of that, you have Jess Sims returning at quarterback this year. I think it'll once again be a meh showing. It's not going to be nothing crazy, but maybe we see them finish with a positive record here. They'll definitely probably, I can say, get a bowl game, but we're not going to see anything too crazy out of here. We're not going to see anything crazy out of the West in general, in all honesty. Number 2, I have Iowa. And I have it written here right after number 1 is I just think the teams just continue to get worse and worse and worse in this division. There's really or in this side of the division, I should say, there's not a whole bunch of competition. It's not like the East where there's a dogfight at the top. That being said, Iowa does get a transfer QB in Cade McNamara from University of Michigan. I think that will fare out decently well for them, though. I think they're finally getting a quarterback who knows how to play in a big system, and it's going to look good. I don't think it's going to make them a huge threat, but I think after with a team that finished in damn near bottom of the category and everything offensively last year, this is going to be able to make a huge jump for them. And in a weak side of the division, I think that'll be just enough that they need to go up that high into the 2 spot. Coming in at number 1 in the West, though, I have Wisconsin. Now, they always have a run game, it appears, over there, and they will continue to have that this year with the play of Braylon Allen. I think he will play very well for them. I think he'll go over probably 1,400 yards. I think he'll be the main focus in that offense. But on top of that, they got Tanner Mordecai from MSU, and he looked very decent last year. Very, very decent. The guy threw for over 3,000 yards with 33 touchdowns to only 10 interceptions.
I would say that's
very
better
good.
than decent.
Yeah, right. That's very good.
Very decent.
Very decent. And so that is how I have rounding out the West, Wisconsin sitting at the 1 spot. Am I just moving right into the East?
You are not. No, absolutely not.
All right. So with the West, let's start off by saying this. This is arguably one of the better conferences, and not the West, but the Big Ten is arguably one of the better conferences in all of college
On the
football.
East.
They had 2 college football playoff teams in Ohio State and Michigan, both lost in the semis. And Michigan to TCU wasn't a very close game. Ohio State to Georgia on a last-second field goal as time expired, as 2022 expired, going into the new year. Completely shanked. They were missing Marvin Harrison and some good receivers, and I don't want to say anything, but I think there might have been targeting the end zone. I'm just saying. But this conference is going to be gaining USC and UCLA in the next year, and they're getting rid of the division, which is great. I'm so glad they're getting rid of the division.
Like
There's
that.
no reason.
Yeah, they need to.
Your top 3 teams are on one side, so I'm glad they're getting away with that. It's going to be interesting to see how USC and UCLA play away games when it becomes October, November. They're going to play in the cold there, and
That's going to be tough.
That's going to be interesting.
Well, they have Washington and Oregon, so I mean, it gets kind of cold up there.
But they're playing more games in the warm weather than they are.
But it's not Michigan, I can tell you that.
Yeah, it's not Iowa, it's not Michigan, it's not Minnesota.
Damn well half them kids are there because of that warm weather.
Yeah.
And so let's get into this. At number 5 in the West, I have Illinois. They're coming off an 8-win season, which is the best season since 2007. I'm pretty sure that's the year they may have upset Ohio State. I'm not 100% sure. They had a great defense last year who posted some close games against some good teams, i.e. Michigan. They were only allowed 12.8 points a game, which, that's absolutely tremendous. However, their coordinator Ryan Waltons, and they lost him, and they also lost Devin Witherspoon, who was arguably the best corner in the league or in the NCAA last year. They lose him to the draft. And so their defensive line is, I think, underrated, a little dangerous. They have Keith Randolph and Jerzon Newton, who combined for 26 tackles for loss last year. The offense is going to have to replace Tommy DeVito, no relation to Danny. I looked it up, not related to Danny, and Chase Brown. Now they have Ole Miss transfer Luke Aldemeyer under center, but I don't think that's going to be enough for that offense to do anything. At number 4, give me the Cornhuskers.
Okay.
We have Nebraska.
Like
Former Baylor coach and Carolina's Panther Matt Rule takes the helm this year. I was close to putting them at 3 this season just because I think he's a good college coach. However, with his first season in each of his last 2 teams, that's Baylor and Temple, he combined for 3-21 in those first 2 seasons, which is not that good at all. I think he'll probably do better than that, though. I think he'll win more than 3 games, but I think he'll be pretty bottom in the division there. Now, obviously, they're replacing Scott Frost, who I thought was going to be good when he was the national champion with UCF. Turns out that wasn't the case. So they get Casey Thompson as a transfer from FAU. They get back Anthony Grant, as well as good wide receiver from Portal, Billy Kemp, and Georgia transfer Arik Gilbert. They need to get better on both sides of the ball, and they allowed 27.6 points per game last year, which isn't good at all. At number 3, I have Wisconsin. That's going to be a little bit of a hot take, not having them at 1 or 2.
Wow.
They get Cincy coach Luke Farrell coming back to the Big Ten since leaving Ohio State. He's the head coach here, and he might be a good fit for the Badgers. However, when he was coaching for Ohio State last time, he didn't do so hot. Now, they're usually the top dog in the West, but I think they may take a little bit of a step back here, trying to get used to what Luke Farrell is going to bring to the table. Wisconsin brings back 8 defensive starters, which is really good, especially for the impressive defense they did have last year. Phil Longo comes in from UNC, and looks like Wisconsin may try to rely on a little bit more passing this year. Usually there are big run-heavy teams. You have people like Jonathan Taylor, Monte Ball, Melvin Gordon, etc. They have such run-centric offenses. Their offensive line's always like 6'8" and up, which is crazy. However, Braylon Allen is back, so the ground game isn't completely gone. I think they may have a more balanced attack. They got Tanner Mordecai from SMU to help boost the receiving core. They have a tough schedule, though. They play Iowa, Ohio State, Michigan, and Penn State this year as well. So that's going to be a tough conference schedule. At number 2, I had the Golden Gophers, Minnesota. They lost their top back, Muhammad Ibrahim, but I'm pretty sure I'm pronouncing his name right. Ethan Kalakamanis, I'm sorry if I butchered that, is back with a great receiving core that will put up numbers. They got to replace some offensive starters at line, which will be the question, especially in a defense line heavy conference. You have this really good defensive lines there in that conference. Their defense only allowed 13.8 points per game last year. However, only 5 starters returned from that defense. So it's going to be interesting to see who they replace there. Can you stop? I'm trying to pay attention.
He's going to start doing this salsa, dude. He's going to start doing this salsa like that, man.
Arriba. At number 1, I have Iowa. The Hawkeyes, this team's offense was the thing holding them back last year. They only got 17.7 points per game. That's not good. Brian Ferentz, their O coordinator, is probably on the hot seat this year. He's going to have to produce if he wants to keep his job, but they took a giant leap this offseason. They got Cade McNamara transferring from Michigan, who is a good QB. I'd look out for Caleb Johnson at running back, too. I think he can make a difference in this team. Iowa, they have a good defense. I mean, they had those corn-fed boys up there. They lost to Riley Moss and Jack Campbell, but I look out for corner Cooper DeJean this year that puts up some numbers.
I'm loving it, man. I feel like I was just listening to my script over here, dude. So yeah, right.
So like I sold the NBA script.
We're pretty. Ooh. So I have at number 5 Peyton Manning's favorite city to call out. I got Nebraska over there. Love it.
Nebraska's in Lincoln, by the way.
It's right outside of Omaha. Okay, it's right outside of there. So I do like Jeff Sims. I think he's going to end up getting the start at QB.
Does he have any relation to Phil Sims?
Is there any relationship to the Sims video game?
Maybe. But
did somebody remove his pool ladder, or
but I will say, I like Chubba Purdy getting the starting job there by his name alone. I love that.
I don't like anything with the name Purdy.
Oh, then I have at number 4 Purdue. Ryan. Yeah, I mean, look, they won the West last year. They got a great head coach coming in there, and Ryan Walters. I think he's going to do a good job. They have Hudson Card coming in as the starting quarterback.
Any relationship to Derek
or David?
Card, like a card.
Oh.
They didn't have anything crazy to like boost them to be back in that spot that they were last year. That's why I have them at 4. Number 3, I got Illinois. I mean, yes, they lost Witherspoon, but that defensive front, like David said, with Randolph and Newton, they're just going to be absolute menace up there up front.
Yeah.
And that's really going to help them. Offense, they're not really going to score a lot of points on offense, but the defense is going to be what keeps them in it.
You think so? Think the defense will be that dominant?
Yeah, they have. They lost Witherspoon, but they got Wither Fork.
Oh, I mean, I think they will be pretty good there. I mean, honestly, I think they averaged only like 15, 16 points per game on defense, letting up, which is crazy good.
Crazy good.
And this is where I kind of didn't know which one to choose, man. At number 2, I got Iowa. I love the Michigan transfer in Cade McNamara. I love him as starting quarterback. Also like the Ohio State transfer. I'm sure you guys like it too. And Caleb Brown. I think he's going to help this offense. Running back, Caleb Williams. Look for him to have a great breakout year there. And then, like David said, corner Cooper DeJean. Looks like he might go out there and be one of Big Ten's defensive players of the year. Then, number 1. I love Tanner Mordecai coming from SMU. I think he's a great quarterback. I think he's going to help. Along with, they had 4 wide receivers transfer to their team this year. And like David said, they're looking to have a more balanced offense and being able to throw the ball. CJ Williams from USC is really going to help them at wideout. And then obviously Braylon Allen's going to help keep the pressure off of them. So I mean,
Yeah.
I look to see Wisconsin go in there again. No one on this side is going to beat anyone in the East. Whoever wins the East is
No.
definitely going to be the Big Ten champion. But that's it. So that's going to get us into our special guest, Dylan.
All right. So I went a totally different direction. I actually have Nebraska finishing last. I have them finishing last. In the
Wow.
Wow.
Yeah.
Woo.
New head coach. Nebraska all last year. Believe me, like whenever it came to like the Fox Sports, like the big noon kickoff stuff, I was like, yeah, Nebraska is pretty good. They seemed to disappoint. They didn't know what quarterback they wanted to put in. They just kept losing and losing. So yeah, I got them. I got them going 3-9. I don't have them winning. I don't have them winning more than 3 games.
Wow.
The schedule that they have, like you guys have mentioned, they have to face a lot of good East teams this year. They got to face teams like Michigan. They have to face Michigan State, Maryland. Maryland's on the rise. I'll get to them later, but yeah, I got Nebraska finishing last. I'm not gonna lie,
That's right, baby.
but I'll say finishing just 1 win above them. I got Purdue in the 6th spot. I got them finishing 6th. Purdue, especially you look at their bowl game last year. Purdue disappointed. They didn't really face a strong team in the bowl game. Most of their starters were out. Purdue played their heart out. They just disappointed. Finishing now, I'll get to my top 5. I got Northwestern at 5. Northwestern has been.
Wow.
Yeah, hey, I'll explain. Northwestern.
Northwestern was on that one movie, College Road Trip, with Raven Simone.
Yeah,
Ooh.
and the guy that played Boog from Open Season.
With Martin Lawrence.
Yeah,
Not Boo from Monsters Inc.
No,
or
Boo,
Boo from Mario.
Oh.
but yeah, I got Northwestern going 5-7. So Northwestern, they had I believe it was 2 years ago, made an
years.
appearance. 2 years ago, made an appearance in the Big Ten championship. Last year, they seemed to disappoint. They're in like the middle of the pack. But I got them getting up to number 5. Now my 4 spot, I got the Fighting Illini.
They're trash.
The worst name in college football history, maybe next to the Idaho Vandals. But the Fighting Illini, I got them finishing in the 4th spot. Like you said,
Who's the
they
Fighting
lost.
Illini?
That's Illinois. That's their team name.
Oh.
That's
Fighting
Illinois,
Illini.
Christian. Illinois.
Yeah, but like you said,
Didn't know.
They lost pretty good, like pretty big pieces. But that team, even though they've been on the back burners for a long time, for as long as I remember, I feel like they're on the rise now. Going up to my 3 spot though, I'm in agreement with David. I got Wisconsin in the 3
Yeah.
spot.
Yeah.
And
Wow.
y'all got Wisconsin in the 1. Y'all need to look at their record last year. There were plenty of games where they lost to very mid teams, games where they should have been able to win. Y'all forget Wisconsin has been on the back burners of college football ever since Melvin Gordon left.
You
Once they
use
took-
last year's records to determine this year's predictions?
I looked at last year. Yes, I looked at it compared
enough,
it
I
to
do
what
too.
happened this year. Yeah. But I looked at their games last year. Wisconsin, ever since they lost Melvin Gordon, I can't remember whenever I feared Wisconsin. It's just
When
Wisconsin
Taylor
has
was there?
been.
Jonathan Taylor's pretty good.
Yeah, Jonathan Taylor was a fucking
Yeah.
animal over there.
But yeah, that
We're
was-
Ohio State fans. We didn't really see Wisconsin as a
Didn't
threat.
Chubb go to
Oh, it must be nice.
Wisconsin?
Chubb went to Georgia.
Right? Or am I wrong? Oh,
Nick Chubb went to
Chubb went to
Georgia.
Georgia?
Yes.
Yeah, Chubb went to Georgia.
You know, after he destroyed your Florida Gators every single year. But moving on to my number 2 spot, I got Iowa in the 2 spot.
Iowa.
I do.
Iowa.
I got them. So I got them finishing 9-3. I believe they're gonna lose to Iowa State this year.
Oh,
It's
they're gonna lose that rivalry game.
Dang.
They seem to always have trouble in that one, so I can see
Yeah.
that.
They do. They do.
Yeah. I got them losing to Iowa State. They beat them last year. Iowa State's going to be looking for some payback this year. I think that Iowa State's going to get it. I honestly do.
Get it.
But
Get it.
here's the
Got it,
crazy
got
part.
it, got it,
Here's,
got it.
here's the crazy part. I got Minnesota at the 1, right?
Ooh.
But
Okay.
I have them finishing 9-3 as well. But the only reason that Minnesota gets the 1 spot is that tiebreaker against Iowa. They're going to beat Iowa.
Okay.
And that's what's going to give them that number 1 spot.
So to preface that, does that mean that Iowa's going to lose an out of conference game too?
I have Iowa losing to Iowa State. That's the out of conference.
Sorry, I
game.
meant Minnesota.
Minnesota.
Because
No, I got Minnesota losing. They play Ohio State. They play against Michigan, but I have them losing. I have them losing an upset to you guessed it, the Fighting Illini. They're gonna go in and they're gonna upset.
So you have the winner of that division.
So you have Wisconsin at number 1 then.
Yeah.
No, Wisconsin's at 3. Wisconsin finished.
Sorry, you have Iowa at number 1 then, because
you have
one of
Iowa
their
when
losses is a
it lose-
non-conference loss,
Right, so
and
they don't
go by
lose two.
conference record to decide.
Hey man, just
Yikes.
take Iowa. I'll take Iowa all day. I think they might take
No.
it all.
Iowa's losing the out of conference game to Iowa State.
Right, but they go
Right,
by
but they're gonna go-
conference record to decide
Exactly.
who's the conference winner. So like
Guys,
you
we
can go
have less
0-3.
than a minute.
Dumb though, like
It's fine, Dylan.
No, it's good.
yeah, no.
That's fine. We'll
I
just
still think it's Minnesota.
okay. That's fine. I agree with that. Then
Well,
All I know is that
your chest is so freaking hairy, Christian.
all I
Dude,
know is that
dude, if you want a piece for your head, I'll
Dude.
give you it.
He looks
Christian-
he looks like Will Ferrell's chest. The hair on his chest
I
looks like
thought
Will
I
Ferrell's.
thought I was bad, but like he's making me
It's
feel a
a-
little bit more confident in
his-
myself.
his curl up, dude.
Look,
That's-
let me tell y'all something right now, bro. If you don't have hair on your chest, you're a pussy.
My
Oh,
my Uncle Devin, your guys' uncle and brother.
Wait a minute, you have an Uncle Devin?
Yeah.
So do I.
why?
Whoa,
And
it's like
when I
we're
was-
family or
When
something.
when he lived with us in Jacksonville, he told me I couldn't play Xbox unless I had hair on my chest. And our dog Samson was like sleeping with me, and he left, and I had like dog hair on my chest. I was so happy. I was like, I can finally play Xbox. Now I regret it. I completely regret it now. Like that's the worst thing I could ever wish for in my life. Now I can play all the Xbox I want, but I, need the. Oh, yeah, Brooklyn likes my chest hair though.
Dude, I mean, if it makes you feel any better, I have a lifetime subscription to Xbox because of mine. So
Christian
let's,
saved.
Is this
Saves
staying
money
in?
I don't know. Some of this might be staying in, but
Christian-
that's gonna
Let's go to the east, Christian.
Snip, slip.
that's
I'm
gonna
It's not-
that's gonna get us
Christian's-
in. Go ahead. Dylan.
Christian saves money on floss. All he has to do is just pull out one.
Dude, when I need a really extra long piece, I grab it from my head.
Oh god.
All right. At that point,
East.
that's gonna get us
Please
into
go to the East.
the Big Ten East. Obviously, we all know winner of the Big Ten's coming out of this conference. Christian, who you got?
Yeah. So going in last place here in the Big Ten on the East side, I have Michigan State. And the whole reason I have Michigan State is because I feel as though, well, kind of once again, like the other side of the conference, once you hit the bottom 3 teams, they're just and you can flip a coin and decide. And I just personally think that Michigan State will finish better than Rutgers and Indiana this year. So that is why they're sitting at 4.
Rutgers is a powerhouse team.
Yeah, man.
More like
And yes,
like-
Nick, I said Indiana as well. So sitting at number 4, I have Maryland.
Let's go.
Tagovailoa returns as probably the most athletic quarterback in the Big Ten this year. But my problem is here with Maryland is that they've lost a lot of good players. They've lost the wide receiver room has been taken multiple key losses on the defensive side of the ball. However, I will say that they did get a couple transfers. One to watch out for would be Caden Prather and Tyrese Chambers, and I think they will be able to change that wide receiver room back and make it a competitor again in 2023. I think if Tagovailoa can get everything under control, this team could probably make a run that goes higher than the 4 spot. However,
Did?
know if that's gonna. We haven't seen these wide receivers play at Maryland yet. We haven't seen Tagovailoa shine all the time, 24/7, to know we can rely on him like that. So now I have him sitting at the 4 spot.
That suspense was killing me, guys.
I know. Sitting in here at number 3, I have Penn State. Former 5-star QB Drew Aller steps in and he finally takes the reins over here at Penn State. This team best pass defensive front in the Big Ten. And like I stated earlier, as an Eagles fan, we all know how important the pass rush is. I think more than anything, though, Nick Singleton is going to play the biggest part in this offense. He's going to take a lot of pressure off of Aller at quarterback. He's going to have a big part in the run game. Singleton was also named Big Ten Freshman of the Year last year. So he's already a guy that we know can play, and I think he will continue to play. Number 2. Ugly Ohio State. I can't stand them. They're the 2, baby. They're not the 1. There's a lot of work, in my opinion, to be done here at Ohio State. And the biggest thing, the biggest question, and maybe you too, Dylan David, can answer me this one. Who's starting at quarterback?
Your mom.
Nice.
Ooh.
Nonetheless, it is Ohio State University. There's top recruits in and out of here each year, every single year. They have arguably the best wide receivers in the entire country. Marvin Harrison Jr. is the person who headlines it all. He's a fucking stud. We all know that. But this team will be big on the offensive side of the ball as always, and the defense will fare fine. I like their 2 additions to the defensive side of the ball as well. And I'm going to screw it up. I'm sorry, boys. Cornerback Davidson Igbinosun and safety Jihad Carter. I think both of them will make a very big impact for the defense in a big way. And I think that in itself is going to help OSU propel itself to the number 2 spot. However, at the 1 spot, Michigan. Let me tell you guys right
Repeat.
now. This will be one of the most electric offenses in the country, without a doubt.
Woogie.
The offense will be?
Yes, the offense will be. I think J.J. McCarthy. Listen up. I think J.J. McCarthy is going to have a humongous season. I love this guy. I think he's an absolute stud. I think he's a name to watch in the Heisman conversation. And I think by the end of the year, yes, he will have forced himself into being a first-round pick. He is the real deal. Yes.
Oh,
guys, that's hot. Bro, it's hot. Listen to it and watch it happen. I'm willing to stand on it with plenty of confidence.
Not even the best guy on his offense.
Yup, I know he's not. I have that stated here.
No
literally,
way.
my next line is, but he's not even the best player on this team on the offensive side.
He doesn't have anyone to
How is he a Heisman candidate?
Watch out.
That's almost that take is almost his bad.
Anyways, to continue with what I'm saying.
Dylan, he's going to shut up, but Dylan's trying to say it takes bad as your connection.
Blake Corum. Obviously, he's a difference maker. The guy's a baller. He can do whatever he wants to do. He has his way on the
point in case.
Coming back with is Donovan Edwards. Both of these guys are studs, and they're all going to play out of their minds this year. And Nick, to answer your question about wide receiver, about who they're going to throw to, they just got Roman Wilson. Roman Wilson is going to step up last year. Well, they didn't just get him. I'm sorry. They had him last year. He was the 2nd player in totals of yards and touchdowns. And the number 1 guy has already left via the draft. He's going to step up and take a huge offense. The offense to be very fun, very explosive to watch. And defensively, they're set as well. They have returning names that include linebacker Junior Colson, cornerback Will Johnson, and safety Mike, I'm going to butcher it again, Sanistill.
See, I like what you're saying about their defense. Defense is going to be good. Absolutely.
I didn't even let me finish either. They got 2 great guys through the portal. Edge rusher from Coastal Carolina, Ernest Huseman, and freshman starter from Nebraska that year. I'm sorry, Ernest Huseman was the freshman starter from Nebraska. Josiah Stewart was the edge from Coastal Carolina.
Where'd Dylan go?
Right there, reading his notes.
What are you doing, Dylan?
All right. Do you guys want to go last with your Ohio State picks? Or do you want me to go ahead?
We both know both of you guys are biased. I mean,
we already
had Maryland at 1.
We already know.
Let's go with Nick.
All right, cool. Number 5, super easy. Michigan State.
This is Sparta.
They lost Peyton Thorne. It looks like Noah Kim's going to be the starter there. Really, nothing else really amazes me there. I
In a
do
relationship
like.
to Kim Jong-un.
We may
What's
never
Dylan
know.
doing?
I don't know, but should we wait?
No, keep going.
I think Rosa grabbed his attention.
Keep going.
But I do like by Job, edge
I
rusher.
think he's got it.
4-star recruit, number 1 in his state. Like to see him there. At number 4, I got Penn State.
Oh, come on, dude.
I got
What a
Penn State
dick
at number 2.
rider.
Wow.
Penn State at number 4.
Tell me your bias without telling me your bias.
Okay.
QB is going to be a concern there.
What?
QB is going to be concerned there. I don't know. Their defense is going to be the heart of what they had. They lost JPJ and safety Jair Brown. 2 tough losses there, but they did do pretty well in the offseason to pick up their pieces. I do like Nicholas Singleton. I think he's going to be their main piece of offense, but I don't think it's going to be enough. I think.
What was that? Sorry, Dylan just dolphin dived over his kid.
No, I missed it. I missed it.
Oh,
Sorry,
man,
boys.
that was beautiful.
had to
Dylan,
take
hold
a
on.
little-
Dylan, Nick just said that Penn State's gonna be number 4 in that conference, in that side of the conference.
Let me guess. Maryland at number 3.
He could put him at 2, for all we know. We don't
Oh,
even-
1.
Just remember,
And
Just
at
remember-
number 3, give me those Terps, baby.
The music kind of cut out halfway.
I heard-
Your mic does a really good job at noise canceling, by the way. That
Oh, that's a good thing.
Yeah.
Give
I
me
heard
the,
you say
give me those Terps.
you said give you some turds.
turds. I heard turds too.
Let me tell you this right now. Talia is coming back in his senior year, and he has something to prove to be the best Tagovailoa brother of them all. He's not concussion prone.
Finishing number 3.
He's gonna be an absolute stud. Yes, they
Top three.
lost Dante Demas. They lost Barrett. Yeah, that's gonna suck. But
So are they?
look for running back Roman Hemby to go absolutely off this year. I will say also, I absolutely love Littleton. The dude is an absolute freaking stud. He is 6'5", 285 pounds. Just absolute menace in the backfield. Love it. What was that? What do you want to say? So, and I also will say they added transfer for the offensive line, Marcus Duberville. Do you know who his uncle is?
Elvis Doomerville.
Elvis, yeah.
Elvis Dumerville. So he's got
Like your liver much.
he has pro athlete in his veins.
You have come.
I
in
do
yours.
like woo. I do
I was just
like
about to
say he has
what,
dick
what
sucking in
Christian
it.
said. Caden Prather, I think he's going to be a great addition to this offense. Help Talia be able to actually throw the ball over there. To go along with Jay Sean Jones. I think they're going to be pretty good there. Now, defense, losing Deontay Banks and Jacorian Bennett, it's tough. But I think they'll
Got Corey Coley.
go out there and they'll be able to do their own over there.
Corey Baxter.
Loxley is a great coach. He knows what he's
I'm
doing
your
over there.
man.
He's been doing good ever since he's been over there. Number 2. I got Michigan.
State.
Oh,
Michigan.
Oh,
I got Michigan. Yes.
colored me shocked.
I do not see them coming back and winning back to back. I don't see it happening. JJ McCarthy's good, but you're going to have to rely heavily on the running backs, Blake Corum and Donovan Edwards. They have nothing at wide receiver. I don't care what you say. I don't think they're lacking hard at wide receiver. Defense is going to be the one that helps them stay in games. They have 7 starters coming back on defense, including Chris Jenkins, defensive tackle, corner, Will Johnson, and safety Rod Moore. Love them. Just don't see it happening. I don't see it happening. I don't think Harbaugh has what it takes to get another one get another championship there. At number 1, give me those Scarlet Knights, baby.
Yeah, woo, a girl the way, let's go.
No, I mean I got Ohio State at number 1. I mean, mainly they have the best wide receiver core in all of football at this point. I hate to say it. Hurts my soul. I love Kyle McCord, named as their starter. I think he's gonna be a good player. I mean, he doesn't really have to worry about doing much over there with having Marvin Harrison Jr. there, Julian Fleming to throw to. I mean, and then in the backfield, the 1-2 punch and Mayan Williams and Travion Henderson. I mean, they're just Kyle McCord's going to be able to do whatever he wants over there. And in my opinion, he's going to make them feel comfortable, not worry about it. And then also, this is their second year defensive coordinator, Jim Knowles, going in there, going to help them out on defense. They really hit a lot of positions that they were lacking in this offseason. They have defensive lineman, Taiwan Malone, cornerback, Davison Igbonisson from Ole Miss. And then not to mention, they have Jahid Carter from Syracuse. Love it. I think they're going to win it. I don't see Ryan Day losing to Michigan 2 years in a row. Not happening. Not happening. And I'm sure you guys love it.
Yeah,
Ohio State wins this division.
You can't
Where's
see
that game at this year?
Ann Arbor.
Ooh.
All right,
wait,
so I do.
what did
Don't.
you say? I was gonna say Christian said that he doesn't see it happening, but from what I know, you can't even see color. So
Oh, 401.
Yikes.
I mean, Christian can never be a color commentator.
yeah,
No, cannot.
he can be a colorblind commentator, but
You know, it's not really that funny to make fun of people with disabilities.
Yeah, Dylan.
Wow.
Yeah, it's
Dylan
Yeah.
has a disability.
Yeah, it's kind of fucked up, actually.
yeah,
What's next? You're gonna tell me that it's fucked up? I have arthritis in my eye. It just fucking happens, man. I can't do anything about it.
We're not turning this into Christian talks about his medical
Nah, you
expenses.
know what? No.
All right, so I'll start out with the East at number 5, Michigan State. Give me the Spartans. I know they could have I wish they could have a shot at making a comeback to their former Big Ten glory. I just don't see it happening. Peyton Thorne and Keon Coleman transferred after spring practices, so we would just say, yeah, we don't want to be here anymore. That's insane. Noah Kim is the starter, no related to Kim Possible or Kim Jong-un. And I don't know if he is ready for that, especially on a team who had only 19.8 points per game last year. They need to get better at line and protect him.
Is Kim a sophomore or what?
protect him.
Protect Kim. I think he's a junior. I think Kim may be a junior. He's junior or sophomore. They also, again, like I said, they lost Coleman and Jaden Reed at receiver, which is just going to hurt them even more. They got good defensive transfers, but they had the 12th ranked defense in the Big Ten last year. I don't know how they're going to work it on defense. They allowed 30.4 points per game to Big Ten opponents last year, so I don't see them doing that much. At number 4, I have the Terps. Sorry, Nick. I have Maryland. They were to return Tagovailoa. He did have 3,000 yards and 18 touchdowns last year. They get to keep Roman Kimby, who I think is a great back. I'll agree with Nick there. I think they win 7 to 8 games this year, which I think is solid. They need to rebuild the O-line so Tagovailoa doesn't get the same brain as his older brother. The defense has improved in the last 2 seasons. They went from allowing 5.76 yards per play to 5.01 yards per play last year, which still isn't that great. That's still, usually a first down. However, they need to replace some key guys from that year. They lose 2 great corners in Jacorian Bennett and Deontay Banks. That's going to be really hard for them to replace those. And they will need to be able to fill those roles in a really good conference, especially with the arm talent that's in the conference.
Well, hold up now. Hold on. So you have them winning 7 or 8 games. Have you seen their out of conference schedule?
I don't really care about their out of conference. We more care about their in conference. I still have them winning 7 to 8 games.
They're beating Penn State November 4th.
Okay.
Who?
Put it
in
on the
College
calendar.
Park.
Who?
Put it down.
Put it on the
Maryland's
calendar.
beating Penn State November
Dude,
4th.
bro.
Put it on the
Nick,
calendar.
if you would just pull your head out of your ass for a second and realize what you're saying.
Christian,
You sound this dumb.
Christian, you're dealing with a guy who said that.
I know what he said. I know. No.
We
Don't
don't
bring
need to
it up.
bring
We're
that
We're not gonna bring
not
that
going
up.
there. We're not going there. Because it's gonna.
Yeah.
Damn it, Dylan! I was gonna bring that up when we finished up the phone.
Now you
At
can't
number
bring it up.
3, Penn State, like always, Nittany Lions will be in the hunt to be at the top, but won't be able to get there. I think Penn State is not too far behind. What's
Yeah.
They're not too far behind the top two in the East. I just don't think they're going to pass them anytime soon. Drew Alar will be interesting to see after replacing Sean Clifford. I feel like Sean Clifford had a pretty okay career there at Penn State. I like Nicholas Singleton and Katron Allen, and they have some solid offensive line play with Alu Fahanu as well. I think he's one of the best offensive linemen in Big Ten at least. They lack out receiving core. That's going to be the big thing, and that's what I think is going to hold them back. They lost top 3 cornerback in Joey Porter Jr. last year. They also lost Jair Brown. But even with that, they'll probably have a top defense in the Big Ten. Look for linebacker Abdul Carter and defensive ends Adisa Isaac and Chop Robinson. What a great name, Chop
Robinson. I like that.
To make some noise on that defense. At number 2, I have Ohio State.
Let's go! Oh my God!
This team knows how to reload, but it's going to be hard after losing CJ Stroud to the NFL. They also lost 3 great offensive linemen on that starting line. However, I think they'll be able to replace that line talent. They lost JSN, but they still have Marvin Harrison coming back.
Baller.
Best receiver in the nation. They have Egbuka coming back. And keep your eye out for freshman Carnell Tate. I like Carnell Tate. They also have a great ground game in Travion Henderson and Mayan Williams. The big load is going to rely on Kyle McCord.
Big load.
I don't think we're going to need. We're not going to worry about Devin Brown getting his position, but I think he may give him a little run for his money. Definitely this team is talented. It just needs a little more steps, I feel. I think Ryan Day has had some average defenses in comparison to past Ohio State defenses. I think that's what's hurt them. But I don't think he has anything to boast about in defense-wise. They need to take that step. I just think there needs to be some things to look out for in QB and O-line play this year, and hopefully that defense steps up. All right, Dylan, you can go next.
Before you start, I want to throw out there, I think David's new favorite team is FSU. I think Ohio State's been put on the back burner because he has FSU higher.
I think he actually likes Michigan.
No one's going to comment. I said my number 2, and I said, okay, Dylan, you can continue.
Yeah, you never said the 1. I was going to say that. Oh!
This pains me to say. And it makes me really sick to my stomach to say.
Say it.
But I think the Big Ten runs through Ann Arbor this year.
Yes, sir, it does.
I was lucky enough to be spoiled. I apologize, Dad, if you're listening to this. I was lucky enough to be spoiled as an Ohio State fan in my lifetime.
Loser.
They've been 18-6 against Michigan in my lifetime, which included a 14-1 run from 2004-2019. But they've gave Ohio State a good run for their money in the past years. I know they lost to TCU in the semis on terrible offensive game, too many turnovers. That's why I'm not that high set on J.J. McCarthy. But he does return. They get Donovan Edwards and then Blake Corum. Blake Corum is a stud, however.
Baller.
I'm more interested to see how he does coming back from that injury.
Yeah.
I hope he can. I don't like Michigan by any means, but I think he could be a baller at the next level as well. So I hope he can come back just so we can see that.
Wouldn't mind Philly picking him up in the draft next year.
But this is going to all come down to their defense as well. Michigan probably has the second best defense in the nation behind Georgia.
Ooh, okay.
Georgia. They bring back 7 starters on the defense, and I think they're poised to make a run back at the college football playoffs. And like every year, it's going to come down to one game, and that's going to be the game in Ann Arbor this year. I hope Ohio State pulls it off. It's just going to be interesting. We're going to see how the teams play throughout the season. All in all, this is a strong conference, like I said, with title contenders. I can't wait to see USC and UCLA join, get rid of the stupid divisions as well. I want to see 2 best teams in it every year. I don't want to see whoever gets in the East and then Wisconsin. Yeah, and then it's whoever gets destroyed there. It's going to be interesting. Right. I feel like it's going to be USC, Ohio State, and Michigan with the carousel of contenders year in and year out.
Not to mention the fact that college football playoffs getting extended as well.
That's true.
That's awesome.
To that, I cannot wait.
I think that's the best thing.
I agree with that because I know this is kind of getting off track, but I'd like to add on you have teams like the 4 big teams that people think about whenever it comes to the college football playoffs. Yeah. You have Alabama, Georgia. Ohio State's usually one of the big contenders.
Clemson, yeah, in recent years it's been Clemson.
Sometimes Oklahoma.
Yeah, sometimes Oklahoma. Oklahoma not as much recently. Recently they've
it's because they've had a QB drought over there.
But yeah, exactly. Ever since
Lincoln Riley left.
And Hurts.
Ever since Kyler Murray left, it's been
Hurts, baby. Hurts. What are you talking about?
But Dylan, who do you have rounding out your East this year?
My East. All right. So in last place, I got the Scarlet Knights.
Yeah, let's go, baby.
Ooh.
Rutgers just has never been a strong team. They've managed like a couple games to where people are like, oh, maybe they could be. But even in those games, they've lost. It's just been closer games with better teams that people have been getting a little bit more uh, hopeful is what I'd say. After
Yep.
that, I got Indiana at 6. They had a couple of years where maybe they could have been top 4, but ever since then they've been on the downward trend.
Really, ever since Penix left for Washington.
Yeah,
God, he was
once,
such a good ball over there.
but he was like, man, Indiana's just not it. I got to get out of here. I'm not a Hoosier, baby.
That's like our family.
Exactly. Yeah, we got to get out of here.
Dave, if you
Number
stayed in Indiana, you'd have been an NFL quarterback.
Okay.
David was going to move to tight end.
Tim Tebow.
Oh yeah.
Do I have a tight end?
But at number 5, like all of you guys, I got Michigan State. Michigan State, like David said, they used to be one of the top teams in the Big Ten. Back like you got Kirk Cousins at quarterback. They beat Braxton Miller in Ohio State in the Big Ten championship. The year whenever Ohio State was supposed to win the BCS, back whenever there was a BCS a while
RIP.
ago. RIP BCS. But yeah, Michigan State they've just disappointed for years and years. People were hopeful with Michigan State. They've managed Michigan State is a team that may cause upsets to higher ranked teams, but at the end of the day, I got them at a neutral record of 6-6. Moving on to number 4, I got the Terps. Give me them turtles, baby.
Let's go. Fear that turtle.
La Tortuga es bueno. I think that Maryland, now you could say I'm biased, but I got Maryland having one big upset this year, and it's Michigan going in to Maryland. I got Maryland coming out on top.
Wow. Okay.
Yeah, I know.
That's
Let's
a hot
go,
take.
baby.
That is burning hot.
I thought the Penn
Maryland's
State
gonna
was
get shit on
bad.
49-0.
Michigan
Easy. We'll score at least 2 touchdowns that game. It would be 49-14.
Yeah. Michigan last year had some glimpses where they went into teams that they should have blown out and they allowed them to get close. They've done that for a couple of years. Yes, they've been really good the last couple of years, but they had a game against Army. They should have blown them out, almost lost to Army. They won, but they managed to let teams that shouldn't have been on their level manage to let them be close. And I think that's going to come back to haunt them against Maryland this year. But moving on to number 3, I got the Penn State Nittany Lions. Rawr.
Joe
I
Paterno's
think-
finest.
Yeah,
Sandusky's.
I got them. They have the same record. They have the same record as Maryland, but Maryland loses to Penn State, so Penn State goes on top of Maryland at number 3. I
Guys,
think that
I gotta interrupt you for 1 second, bro. When we get done this shit, the football talk, can I take this fucking dress off, dude? I am itching like a motherfucker, like so
Dude,
bad.
you have to keep that on the entire time. That's the punishment.
should have shaved your
Yeah,
legs.
dude. I'm sorry, man.
Anyway,
Oh.
let me get back to addressing my picks. So
I got that.
Penn State. I think that the last time I saw somebody have a great run with Penn State was Keegan-Michael Key coming out of the tunnel, imitating Penn State's head coach. That was probably the best run I've seen in a while with Penn State.
That took
yeah,
them
I
to
got-
the Rose Bowl, right?
Yeah, I got Penn State losing to Ohio State, Michigan, and I got them losing to Michigan State. Like I said, I had Michigan State having one upset against a top team, and I think that's Penn State, Nick's former favorite team before he decided to become a Maryland fan randomly. We never expected it. It was
Not
kind
random.
of Nick always said he was a Penn State fan. I just want to let everybody know that.
And my dad was a Penn State fan. Let's put that out there.
Let's
And then let's put also I think the whole rape controversy kind of threw a lot of things
rape.
down there.
Yeah, let's
What-
put a Penn State in that conversation.
Yeah.
I'm going to number
Oh,
2.
with the coach, I was so
Light bulb.
dude. I
Light
was like, what the fuck?
I'm like just watching Christian's face. He's just sitting there, goes, oh.
Yeah, Christian just much like his Wi-Fi right now, it just took a little bit to process. Going on,
Who's Davy Crockett?
bro. We only
Shut
have
up.
we only have bro. We only have one Wi-Fi. Moving on. Number 2, I got Michigan. I got them losing to Maryland, like I said before.
Oh,
That could be a hot take. Definitely a hot take.
I
but
think it is hot.
I love it.
I got the
I
almost
hate
as
it.
hot as me. Almost as hot as me. But
Lies.
I got Michigan finishing 10-2. They lose to Maryland and to Ohio State. Ohio State's wanting some revenge this year. I think they're going to get it. I think this is the year. They've lost, I believe, 2 years in a row. Ohio State has lost to Michigan.
Like the
CJ
first time
Stroud,
since like 9 since this happened.
CJ Stroud
happening
just
again.
Sounds like the last time the Cowboys were good.
Stroud just cannot get it done against Michigan State. Michigan, I'm sorry. But like I was saying, Michigan 2 losses. Maryland could be a dud. Could have been just a hot take that I wanted to put out there. But they're definitely going to lose to Ohio State. Ohio State gets their revenge this year. And at number one, of
Yes.
course, I have the Fighting Illini. They decide that they want to.
Let's go. They switched divisions.
They switched
Yeah.
divisions. They
I
take
got-
both divisions.
I got Ohio State.
Wagon.
Going back, the big question that was asked was quarterback controversy. Do they get a good quarterback? Remember, whenever Ohio State lost Dwayne Haskins, people had the same exact question. We got Justin Fields transfer from
Had the same one when the
Georgia.
world lost him.
Had the same question with Justin Fields coming in that year. Nobody knew how good he was.
Too soon.
Yeah.
Well, we
Nobody
can edit
knew.
it out.
Yeah, nobody knew how good Justin Fields was going to be. Everybody was kind of saying Ohio State was not going to be a contender that year. But guess what? They made the playoffs with Justin Fields that year, one of the most dominant teams. I believe that Ohio State, with that quarterback controversy, I believe that they're still going to manage to be on top.
Did they win that year with Justin Fields?
The
Yeah,
championship-
actually, name me a couple things that they won with Justin Fields.
So here's what we'll say that Justin Fields year. Refs screwed them
Ridiculous.
over against Clemson. That was a fumble, and they
Well,
returned it.
that's to make up for the fact that JT was short. So what else?
What does
would
it
you
have to
say?
do? What?
What about that targeting hit though that they called?
that was a bad call.
Yeah, on
Tre-
Sean.
That was
Trevor
bad.
Lawrence.
Yeah,
Trevor Lawrence,
dude, that targeting call
That was
against in the
bad.
Saints Rams game, that shit was crazy.
But needless to say, I think we're all split here. Maryland's
Law-
gonna be number 1. No big deal.
What?
Dude, you have
I
them
don't
at
think- I don't
3,
think
and I think
anybody
they're
came
absolutely
close to
high.
that.
So that's going to bring us to our NHL playoffs, or as you like to know it, or I like to call it, our 3-minute minor. Not sponsored by Jeffrey. No, we're not. No. Our 3-minute minor. We're doing our NHL playoffs, as Lee referred to as a 3-minute minor. I'm stumbling with the words. I shouldn't have said that. So game 4 was an absolute nail biter. Vegas jumped out to a 3-0 goal lead halfway through the second period and looked to just coast the rest of the way. However, the Panthers hit 2 goals to bring it to a 1-goal lead in the third. From there, it was just a defensive battle, and Vegas ultimately got it done on the road. Chandler Stevenson with 2 goals this game. Aiden Hill again had himself a day in goal. He allowed only 2 goals on 31 shots. Now they took 2 against Panthers in Florida, and the Vegas Knights are now up 3-1. The Vegas Knights defense has been tremendous the entire series. They haven't let up more than 2 goals in regulation the entire Stanley Cup playoffs. The only one being their 3-2 loss in overtime. So I I just have Vegas winning the Stanley Cup Finals. They hold the opponents low, and their offense is just that good. The Panthers have a tough road ahead of them. They have to win 3 games, and 2 of them are in Vegas. I think Vegas gets it done in Game 5 and wins their first Stanley Cup in only 5th year as a team.
Yeah, I don't think. I mean, it's over, dude.
Jover.
Knights are gonna win this.
Mhm.
Not to mention, I'll tell you right now who the MVP is gonna be. It's gonna be Jonathan Marchessault. The dude has 4 goals and 3 assists in 4 games.
Yeah,
That's just
insane.
that's crazy.
A lot of points.
It's golden hour, baby.
I'll come back and say
shower, R.
that
Kelly.
I don't know a single shit about hockey. My favorite hockey team is actually a really shitty franchise as of late. That being said, since we started this podcast, I've said the Knights are going to win this fucking championship, and I mean,
You said Kraken.
no. You said whoa.
We wanted the Kraken.
We
to win.
all wanted Kraken, but we did all say Knights, did we not?
I wanted Knights.
Hmm.
I never said Kraken from the jump. I said Knights.
I wanted the Mighty Ducks.
Nah, it's a good pick. It's a good pick.
Bring them back. Bring that V back.
I wanted Wayne Gretzky to
Flying
get another
V.
ring.
Actually, I think Casey Jones is my favorite hockey player.
That's true.
Ooh.
Okay,
TMNT.
So that's the 3-minute minor.
Yeah, so that's going to lead us into our NBA playoffs. We're going to go to the other Miami team is down 3-1 right now in the finals. This Miami team is also in trouble. 3-1 like its hockey counterpart, and like its counterpart is just absolutely outmatched. They lost 108 to 95. Jokic again did okay, but was in foul trouble a little bit. And Murray had only 15 points on 17 shots. So you think that he would win. But out of nowhere, unsung hero, Aaron Gordon should be 2-time dunk champion. Dominated in the paint. And you know I love some trivia questions, so I'll give you some trivia questions here. The Nuggets had the 3rd highest points in the paint differential in finals history. Can you name me 1, 2, and 4?
1, 2,
Heat,
and
4.
Lakers. Heat, Lakers, Magic.
This is in separate finals, by the way.
Heat, Lakers, Magic.
Give me Houston, Hakeem Olajuwon.
So that would be good if they weren't playing Patrick Ewing, Dylan. But so number 1 is the 2000 Lakers.
Nice.
Number 2 is the 2001 Lakers. Number 3 is the Nuggets, and number 4 is the 2006 Miami Heat. You want to tell me what 1, 2, and 4 had in common?
Shaq.
Shaquille O'Neal.
That's why I picked them. I knew it.
It's really crazy. And then out of nowhere, Bruce Brown came in. He averaged like 11.5 points a game and put up 21.
Yeah.
I mean, and morally, that's draining. That's morally draining.
Yeah.
You held Jokic down low. You did Murray him down low, but then Adebayo and Butler had no help.
Yep.
You know, they have been doing it all themselves. Vincent and Struss have been absolute hot dog water this entire series. They went 0 for 7 from 3 with a combined 1 for 10.
I've said this. I've been saying this for the past couple of weeks now since they finished or since they were about to wrap up the Celtics series. Tyler Hero is going to be back for Game 5. It now says that he's officially suiting up and he's going to attempt to play. However, I mean, dude, if you ask me, Tyler Hero should have suited up 4 games ago. I mean, this guy, we're in the finals. Yep. He needs to be in.
There goes my hero.
Yep.
Listen, I mean, I've been saying it. You hold Murray
and for the bushes
to under 20. You get
for
it
the
done.
bushes.
You get it done. But then when you have Aaron Gordon going off for 27, and then Bruce Brown coming off the bench and getting 21, that is just ripping the heart out. And to be honest, I'm blaming Gabe Vincent and Max Struss. Combined 2 points. How does that happen? As starters, you have 2 points total between the two of you. That's just that's not going to get it done. And I want to say this. I think all of us as Philly fans, we can relate to Miami getting all the way there and not being able to get it done. It's super upsetting, but Miami, we feel for you.
What do you think, Dylan?
I believe game 5 tonight. I got Denver closing it out in Denver. I believe Jokic is going to put up 27 27 points. I'll give him 13 rebounds tonight with 8 assists. That's gonna be my prediction with the Joker. I think Jamal Murray is gonna be right there next to him. I think he'll drop 23 tonight. Jimmy Butler, I believe he'll go over 30 tonight, but he just doesn't have enough help, as we're saying.
Sorry, I'm gonna say I think if he does get enough help, Bam Adebayo, I think he can
Adebayo.
put up some numbers. I
Yeah.
think
He has been.
he'll
He's been
need to go
averaging
hot,
over.
get hot.
He's been averaging over 20 points every single game.
I
which
think
is crazy.
my hot take, I think he'll get 20 in the first half.
Can I?
So-
Wow.
I want to slide in and intervene real quick. Heat was up 5-0, and then Denver went on a 12-0 run, and now it's 12-5.
So is this going to get us into might as well predicting the MVP? We all going Jokic here since he didn't get MVP
has
of the
to-
year.
It has to be
Wow.
Jokic.
So
I'm
to
going
be
Matthew Dellavedova.
completely honest, if we're talking
Ish Smith.
finals, I mean, I guess at this point, if they win the night, it's gonna be Jokic. Yeah.
I mean, 30, 20, 10, averaging a triple double.
Well, he's the only one that's been consistent. Murray's had 2 bad games. So
But what do you call
Yeah.
last?
Okay. Jokic
he
still
had
had
23.
23. That's
Yeah,
still
but even
pretty good.
after the game, his coach looked at him and said, "Jokic, great
But
game.
if we're-
Not a triple double, but great game."
But if we're sitting here saying 23 points in a game is an off night, come on now.
pretty, yeah.
Come on.
Oh yeah. Like I said, I think it's Jover. So we'll see. Again, that's not my hot take, but I do think I have a feeling Adebayo is going to go off this first half, but I think that may be the only thing he does. So
Yeah.
that's going to lead us into Nick. What do we got?
We got our subpar segment. We got the U.S. Open coming up this week, guys. And I've been looking at the stimp meter of these greens. They've been showing us it's like putting on glass. They're showing us the roughs. Once they drop a ball in the rough, you cannot find it. This is the U.S. Open conditions. It's going to be a battle. Winner's probably only going to be at -6 this week. It's going to be a very, very, very low score, meaning that -6 is going to win it. Top 5 players to look out for based off the odds. Scotty Scheffler, number 1. John Rahm, number 2. Brooks Koepka at 3. Victor Hovland at 4. Rory McIlroy at number 5. Now, my watch for the week is Max Homa. And I say this because he wins in California. That's the only place he wins. Not to mention, he holds the course record at, Los Angeles Country Club, which it's being held here. So he knows the course. He knows the design. I will say, be on the lookout if they have a good first 2 days, Jason Day and Ricky Fowler. I think they're going to go out there. They're going to have a good time out there. That's if they have 2 good days. I also wanted to see what you guys thought, if you could pick a top 3 on what you guys think who's going to win this.
So I kind of want to hold my number 1 for our hot take segment later, because that may be my hot take is what number
Fair
1
enough.
is.
Fair enough. Absolutely.
Number
Rory
2,
McIlroy.
At number 2, I'm going to say Jordan Spieth. If we're doing tall grass, he gets in the grass. He's very good at recovering, so I think that he can have an advantage there. Is Matt Fitzpatrick on the doing again? I know it's all. I'll be interested to see what he does. I don't think he comes in 3rd, but give me Hovland. I like Hovland. Give me Hovland at 3. But I'm going to stick with number 1 for my hot takes.
I love it. Dylan, you got a couple you want to pick as your front runners?
Oh yeah. So I agree with David. I think Jordan Spieth is going to be top 3. I have him as my number 1. And then I got Brooks Koepka as my 2. And then I'd say for my 3, I got to go, like Nick said, I like Rahm. I like Rahm and my top 3. Those are the 3 people I believe. If it were my PGA 2K21 guy, I'd say me by over 14 strokes.
Ooh.
My guy would.
It's about how
my
many you
guy
get in the
would-
bed.
No, less than that.
Hey, I don't need to take this from you, Christina. So
Yo, can I give my top 3?
Yeah.
What are your top 3?
Number 1 is Tiger Woods.
yeah.
Is he even participating?
Number 2 is gonna be Rory McIlroy.
Yeah.
Okay.
And number 3 is gonna be this Spieth guy that you guys keep talking about. It's my 3.
You don't even know who Jordan Spieth is.
It's my 3.
Now, I get that. But one thing they got to worry about is, especially on hole number 3, being able to aim it to the left into that like circle area of the fairway on that par 5. If you hit it too hard or hit it too soft, you're not gonna be able to make it to that secret fairway on the left side.
Are you talking about Wii
Secret
golf?
tunnel.
I don't know Wii golf.
Secret tunnel.
He's 100%
I've
talking
tried.
about.
Golf.
He's
Listen,
100% talking
I've
about Wii
tried.
golf.
I've tried so many times. Once I see the wind is ridiculously crazy, I'm like, I ain't trying that. But then I'm like, nah, I ain't no wuss, and I do it. But then I end up getting like +8 on that hole.
Nice.
Wow.
All right, that's gonna bring us into our that's some great golf takes. Nick was more serious. Dylan's Wii golf days are behind him. I haven't seen him pick a Wii golf club in forever. But I'm gonna go into our certified baller, so we can let Christian start off with that.
Yeah, guys. A lot of action around the sports world.
Except for you.
Oh my God! Hold on. Oh, there we go. Yeah, except me. A lot of action around the sports world here. But for this week's certified baller, I almost feel like it's not much of a question about who it was. And this week's certified baller, it goes out to Aaron Gordon. I mean, as we had just touched base on, the dude completely lit it up in Game 4. I mean, he led all scorers with 27 points, and that's to go along with 7 rebounds and 6 assists. I mean, me, you, and Nick, Dylan, you just haven't been on here, but me, Nick, and David, we have been saying the entire time that if you can contain Murray, you will win the game. What we haven't talked about is if you're Denver, what do you do if they contain Murray? And as we've come to see, they contain Murray. They keep Murray, as decent as they can keep him. You didn't think about Aaron Gordon. You didn't think about the next man up, and that's him. He comes out, drops 27. I mean, just takes over in the game and just gives the points when the points are needed. Takes the points through the paint. Huge play from him. And I mean, without a doubt, again on the biggest stage, when someone needs to step up, he steps up. And I feel like you have to get the credit where the credit's due. And for that, Aaron Gordon is the certified baller of the week.
Ooh, it's like Andre Iguodala.
Who you got your deflated baller, Christian?
Yeah. Guys, I was trying to think long and hard. Because when I like to think deflated baller, I like to think
Not too long and hard.
Who messed up? Ooh, I am a little too long. I always like to think who messed up the worst in the week. So this week, my deflated baller of the week is none other than the thing that let me down the most throughout my entirety of my childhood.
Father?
EA Sports.
Oh, yeah.
What the hell is Josh Allen on the cover of Madden?
Oh.
I don't know.
I love that.
I thought you were going to go with what's happening with the NCAA football right now.
Yeah, I was about to say.
I don't know. Listen, I said last week, my personal opinion, it's Jalen Hurts. Whether or not that's biased or not.
I don't want Jalen Hurts on that cover.
I know you don't Madden curse,
whatever.
I know you don't Madden curse, whatever. At the end of the day, even if you throw that out, I need to meet a single person that can look me in my eyes and tell me that it should have been Josh Allen over Joe Burrow. It should have been Josh Allen over the crazy season Justin Jefferson just had. I mean, this is a guy that we're talking about over and over again. Continues to
Jefferson was just on it, was he not?
No.
I
thought he was. I thought he was on one of the covers, one of the
Jefferson never had a cover.
Then I agree with you. But who's to say that they declined? Because you can decline it.
Can I ask you a question? I would like you to tell me who in their right mind is declining the cover of Madden, because that's a payday and a half.
Someone that doesn't want to get hurt. Yeah, if Peyton Hillis could go back, he would definitely take that. 100%. Poor guy.
Give it to Vic.
That's a good one. The Madden curse is broken now.
That's right, Brady Mahomes.
Yeah, they already broke it. The Madden curse is done and over with, dude. It's not a real thing anymore.
You never know if it comes back.
Mahomes was able to break it being pumped full of drugs. So
same with Demi Lovato.
That's very true. Dude was on PEDs for the Super Bowl.
Nah, look, one way or another, no matter how you look at it, I like to think as the cover of Madden is the most electrifying player in the league that year. It doesn't have to be the MVP. It doesn't have to be who was the best overall player. But in my opinion, it's always who was the most electrifying player, who was
Who
the
stood
funnest
out?
to watch.
Peyton Hillis.
The funnest.
What about Madden 25?
Most
Barry
fun.
Sanders.
Sorry, who was the most fun to watch? You know what, Dylan? Shut the fuck up. Nobody cares about Barry Sanders. Love Barry Sanders though.
Wow, Dylan, I apologize for
financial support.
I apologize for his vulgar
Well-
response to you.
I'm just trying to enjoy my rice.
That
My
sounds
Jerry
rice.
rice.
Ray Rice over here. He's
No.
Rice College?
Go Alex.
domestic violence himself over there.
All right, so I guess I'll go with my deflated baller. Sure. I really wanted to say there's gonna be Struss and Vincent here. I think they were awful,
That was mine at first too.
but I'm gonna go with the PGA Tour leaders on this one. We all
Nice.
talked about it a
Good one.
little bit on Friday, but I think it has to be one of the biggest bonehead moves by an organization to their own players. Nick,
Bro,
you okay? Is that yours too?
just stop. What are you about to say? Please
What do you mean?
finish.
I mean, you tell your guys it's gonna be all right. You tell them we're gonna trust you to fight for you, and then the PGA Tour just went over their head and was like, no, we're gonna merge them now. A lot of players I think a lot has to do with the lawsuits that were happening. They're saying that PGA Tour is trying to monopolize, and I think they just gave up on that. But yet, people that were fighting for you, like Morikawa and McIlroy, and you just screwed them over. The golfers have fought for this association, and the association just spat in their face. So, I mean, this to me makes them defeated ballers for the PGA Tour heads because, I mean, what were they thinking? But hey, if you're the Live Tour guys, then you're probably thinking they're the certified ballers this week for you.
I absolutely love that at Deflated Baller. Dylan, you got a Deflated Baller of the week?
Or a certified one.
I'll give you both.
Yep.
For me, for the deflated, I'm gonna go with Jamal Murray. I believe that Jamal Murray, the last game, he's supposed to be the number 2 guy with Denver. Really let the team down. Yes, they got the win, but looking at him individually, I believe that he definitely should have played better. Only reason, as we've discussed, that Denver won that game was Aaron Gordon going off randomly. That doesn't happen every night, and you can't
rely on it.
Yeah, you can't rely on it, and you can't be the number 2 guy and put up bench numbers. That's why I have him as my deflated baller. For my certified baller, I'm gonna go with the mechanic that patched Rose's tires this past week.
The opposite of
Dude,
deflated
Thank
Pat-
you,
baller.
mechanic.
Yeah, right.
Tire in 15 minutes tops, charge $20. Our total delay time from flat tire to back on the road, not even 45 minutes. So
Was
he's
he-
my certified baller.
Was
Just
he a
want to say I can
NASCAR
change
pit
a
crew?
tire in 20 minutes.
Yeah, he was Luigi from Cars.
Bull crap, Christian.
Guido,
I want to
Guido.
say
Guido,
I
sorry.
remember getting a phone call at 1 a.m.
Yo, listen.
and me and your dad had to go and change
Listen,
a tire
Linda.
for
Listen,
you.
Linda.
We were
listen,
in
Linda.
Mar-
That
we were
was
in
before
Maryland,
I
we were
learned
getting
how to change my tire.
We were in Maryland. We were getting back from a Phillies game, and his axle broke. So
No, my axle didn't
Right.
break. 4 out of 5 of my lug nuts fell off.
Hey, Christian, how's that car going?
No, I remember
Man,
that.
God damn it!
that dude has to be on some sort of NASCAR pit crew to
I
get
remember-
that patched and up and ready in 15 minutes. That's
I
insane.
remember, I remember about that Phillies game was David saying that we needed to go to the gift shop, and I told him Kyle Schwarber was up to bat. He goes, "Let's get Brooklyn something
Wait.
nice." I said, "David,
Oh, he was
Wait,
being
hold
a
on.
simp.
Hold on, you guys were with Christian when that happened?
not with him."
no,
He was up in
Yeah,
the
we
stands.
were at the Phillies game. Well, they weren't with me. We were all at the Phillies game that night.
Wow.
But we go to the gift shop, and I said, "David, if somebody hits a home run, I'm gonna be upset."
Schwarbaum.
We're in the gift shop. Schwarbaum. I turned to David. I'll use this. This will be David right here. I just go,
David,
You made me miss this
apologize right now.
Oh, wait, hold on. But I got a Real Muto shirt for her, and then Real Muto hit a home run that night.
But
Dang.
apologize for that.
I did apologize to him.
Okay.
On this.
All right, that's fine. All right, that's gonna get me on to my deflated baller. David, I went back and forth on this. Went in the same PGA sitting right there. Did anybody see the final playoff hole with that putt?
Dude, that was 71 footer or something.
That Nick Taylor hit.
Oh, I know where you're going with this.
That's not my deflated baller. My deflated baller is that security guard.
Yes, yes.
That tackled Adam Hadwin.
Oh
that
my
was
God.
literally just trying to spray his former Canadian Nick Taylor for winning. It's the first time a Canadian native has ever won the RBC Heritage, I think, since like 1956. Security guard, you should have known. The police officer went up and shoved the security guard off of him. I mean, come on, buddy. I think you're never gonna vote for another PGA Tour event.
That's hilarious, Nick, because that was literally my debate for deflated ball. Like that's who I was between them and EA Sports over that, and I mean, I went with EA Sports, obviously, but yeah, that's the 1 and 2 right there.
You gotta know that's Adam Hadwin.
Yeah, you can't do that shit.
He's a top 50 player.
I will say, so here's what I'll say. I did have a honorable mention for a certified baller. And I'm going to go with the Oklahoma Sooners softball team. They won the college championship in a 2-game sweep against my alma mater, FSU. I knew it would be a tough task for FSU, but look, Oklahoma lost 1 game the entire season.
Yeah.
That's absolutely insane. They went 61-1. They had 5 batters who batted over 400 this season. They had 5 batters over 300. I know what you're thinking. That's 10 people. Yeah, it's right. Their bench players are batting over 300 as well. Their top 2 aces were pitching a .9 ERA and a 1.16 ERA respectively.
Let's let it be noted, though, at the end of the day, this is women's softball, okay, buddy?
This team was absolutely stacked. It was like they had a backyard baseball team full of Pablo Sanchez's.
Dude,
it was absolutely insane.
30 Sanchez?
It's just like UConn women's basketball, man. It was not fair from the get-go.
Hot take: UConn women's basketball's ass.
That's not
now they're not that good. But
yeah, now that everyone's coming around and playing for other teams,
LSU is going to go on a dominant run again.
But hey, that's going to get us into our last segment of our hot takes of the week. Let's leave it off with our guests. What do you got going on over there, Dylan?
I'm eating chicken. But
chicken?
It is grilled chicken.
It's hot take.
It's delicious. So for my hot take, I would say it's Jordan Spieth winning. I know recently Jordan Spieth has kind of been like on the down low. It's been a while. I know, yeah, on the down low.
That's a good thing in golf.
So I think that he's gonna sneak up. He's gonna come out of nowhere. He's gonna tackle that security guard, get back at him.
Let's go.
No, but I think George Spieth is gonna come out of nowhere in this U.S. Open, and I think he's gonna win it.
I like it. Give him his second U.S. Open. I mean, hey, if you hear him say in the opening round, this course is stupid, bet on him to win it because he did it at Chambers Bay. It's gonna happen if he does it there. Christian, what do you got?
Yeah. Man, it's gonna sound kind of crazy here, boys. But outside of just tonight, because I think the Rays are gonna win tonight. I think the Rays lose the series to the A's in the next 4 games. I think we'll drop 3 out of 4 at Oakland. I think they win tonight. They lose the next 3 straight.
That's tough, dude. Like I said, first of all, because the Brewers hate me, like, you know, I'm here like, oh yeah, like whatever, the A's aren't that good, but the A's are on a win streak. You feel hot, but against the Rays, dude, I don't know if I could go with that. That's definitely hot.
I didn't have a hot take prepared, to be honest with you guys, so I just came up with one on the spot.
You didn't have to admit that, though. I don't know.
I mean, dude, I feel confident in the hot take.
Wow.
I guess
feel
I guess I'll go next. So yeah, Orioles are now 5.5 games instead of 3. Thanks a lot, Brewers. The Reds, however, decided to have a great week and are now 4 games back. So at this point, man, I'm just a week ahead of my takes. Maybe it's just if I say it 1 week, it'll happen the week after I say it. So here's what I'll say my hot take is, and I told you guys my top 3, and I wouldn't release my 1 because that's my hot take. I have Ricky Fowler winning the U.S. Open.
I love it, man.
I know
love it.
I know Dylan will like this take. Ricky was Dylan's favorite golfer, and Dylan even stole his look for a while, but he has been down the past several years, but he's made a tremendous recovery in the past year. He has been doing a great job within the last year. I think he's poised to make a run for a win here. I think he'll do it. Now we live in a day and age where Spieth and Fowler are doing well. Is this 2013 again? Should I be worried that Bubba Watson's going to come out of nowhere again? Maybe not, but I think Ricky can get it done.
I love that. Ricky's
like
my
that.
favorite. He's my favorite golfer, man. Growing up, he used to wear that creamsicle color
Yeah.
on
Dylan's got that
Sunday
brown out.
all the time, man. I love it. So that's gonna get me into my hot take. I got the Dodgers in first place at the end of the week in the NL West. I say that
Nice.
because they're 3.5 behind the Diamondbacks right now, and they're playing the White Sox and Giants this week. Then the Diamondbacks are playing the red hot Phillies, and they're playing the Guardians, which the Guardians are a mediocre team, but I think it's going to give them a tough task over there, and I think the Dodgers get it done. In all honesty,
Yeah, I'm just surprised at how well the Diamondbacks have been this year, though.
yeah, I feel like they kind of came out of nowhere. I mean, I didn't think they'd be in first place, let alone even in second.
May I
place.
remind you, that was another one of those picks. I said 2 weeks or 3 weeks ago that the Diamondbacks would be in first
You
place
did.
in the NL West, and they didn't do it. And the next week they did. So
You
Yeah.
did.
No,
You
I
did.
agree with you.
We'll see.
I agree with you, Nick. Guardians have they've been adding, but they've also been losing like players. I think the addition of Adam Warlock into the Guardians organization,
well,
I think that
spoilers. I haven't seen it.
I think that's a great
Sorry.
pickup on their part.
You gotta love it, man. Never a dull moment when Dylan's on here. Well,
Yeah.
guys, that's gonna end it here.
Thanks for
We'll see.
coming on, Dylan. I really
Yeah,
enjoyed you on
man.
here.
Yeah,
Come
man.
on,
You gotta
come
get
on
back
whenever you
on.
want. Come on
about to
whenever
say,
you
you gotta
want.
get back on soon, man.
Yes, absolutely.
Definitely.
We'll be back Thursday night to give our predictions. By then, probably the Nuggets and the Knights will be finals winners.
Have some trophies.
But hey, we'll be back, and we'll see you then, guys. Ooh, strip.
Take off that, dude. I think I didn't see any change. I think you're still wearing the shirt, or is that just your chest hair?
He's saying, I whip my hair back and forth.
Dude.
I whip my hair back and forth.
Dude looks like Logan from freaking Wolverine right now.
All right, guys. We'll check you next or later on.
So Wolverine from Wolverine.
Shut up.
Wolverine from Wolverine. All right. At that point, guys, we'll see you later on the week. As always, love you guys. See you later.
Christian's a funny guy, bringing laughter and joy. He got the jokes unlocked and no one can destroy. Needs the analyst, break down the X's and O's. He sees the game differently than nobody knows. Together unite, forming a podcast dream team, making waves in the industry, fulfilling their schemes. Highlight taking podcasts, we taking over the scene. We drop dubs and chugs, live in the sports dream. From hot takes to deep dive, it's a winning regime. Come join the hype, we not just blowing steam.